Hey, it's Bonecrusher. Once again, it's evening time, daytime, here on planet Earth. And it's 7 questions in 7 seconds, an origin story with an ATL great. And today, I got one of the best producers, one of the best minds in music joining me, a Southern boy like myself. My good friend, Jazzy Pha is going to be in the building on the origin story. 7 questions in 7 seconds. I tell you something, this was going to be outstanding, full of joy and happiness, clarity and understanding. Here, it's going to be fun. Stay tuned. Hey, it's Bonecrusher. It's an origin story, ladies and gentlemen. It's nighttime, daytime. Every time we're here with an ATL great. I'm here with one of the best people I know, right? One of the best humans I know. One of the most productive and innovative producers I know. Straight from the South, from Memphis. We have adopted him as an ATLian forever. My good friend, oh boy, Jazzy Pha in the building.
Yes.
What's happening, brother?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You are now tuning into the best, man. It's yours truly.
Hey.
Jazzy Pha Burgundy, Obama Luther King, Jr. Jackson 5, the first.
Hey, let me tell you something. Jazzy's always had this, always does, and you still do have this energy about you, man. It's always been festive, always been enlightening, always been, exhilarating. And you've always came across, even when I first met you years ago,
right?
Years and years ago, you've always had this, hey man, this got to get done, and this gonna be fantastic when we get through doing it.
Oh yeah,
like we said off record, Jazzy said it feels like top charting.
Yeah,
I feel top charting today.
Yeah, real top charterish.
Top charterish is the word he said.
And I don't feel like that every day. You know what I'm saying? I just, I feel real top 10, real top 10.
So this is called 7 questions in 7 seconds, right? Not 7 questions in 7 seconds, right?
All right.
So the first question.
All right.
Tell the humans your origin and where it all started for you and your love of music.
My origin.
Yeah.
My origin is Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
My love of Memphis probably started in the womb.
Right.
Because I was always around music.
Right.
At 5 years old, at like 4 years old, my mom and my pop split.
Right.
And my mom got an opportunity on the West Coast in L.A. And she took me with her.
Right.
At 5.
Nice.
It was like almost 5.
Right.
And took me to L.A. and we moved there.
Okay.
And she sang background for a lot of different people. From Earth, Wind and Fire, Gap Band, Barbra Streisand, DJ Rogers, Billy Preston, a lot of different greats. Right. And we kind of moved around like I tell her all the time. She always denied it, but we were like gypsies.
Right.
We lived in different places all the time.
Nomads.
Yeah, we were just moving around.
Right.
I went to like 13 different schools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that brings that musical, variety, that cultureness, and the fact that she was just left to center, on her musical palette. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I went to schools I went to like 2 schools in Costa Mesa where I was the only black person in the whole school.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that alone just gave me like a musical palette just out of this world. Like, listening to Toto, listening to Devo, listening to The Doors, listening to AC/DC, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Riding BMXs, breakdancing, everything. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So, me coming from there and then moving back to LA. Right. Then that's when I, got into like, when you get to LA, it's pop locking, you know what I'm saying? It's gang banging, it's it's all of that. But I was a musical kid, fortunately. You know what I mean? I dabbled and thought I wanted to be in the streets at one point in time. But, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So my second question for you, man, is that as you said, you're originally from Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
You're raised in a musical family.
Yeah.
What made you pick up the drum machine as your choice of instrumental display for your production and sound?
Instrumental display. Yes. Well, early on, I kind of dabbled with there was this little machine. It's probably as big as a flyer.
Wow.
A little bigger than a flyer. It was called Dr. Rhythm.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The Dr. Rhythm.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was
yeah,
a great box with the little blue buttons on it.
Yeah.
You know, and I would plug it up to a speaker and just, kind of, beat on it. And I didn't know I wanted to be a producer. I just knew I wanted to make my own beats.
Right.
I didn't even know what a producer really was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was around it and everything, but I didn't really encompass the whole concept.
Right.
I wanted to be like Bobby Brown and all of them. I was an artist.
Right.
I was singing in church.
Yeah.
I was singing in school, rapping. Me and my brother had a gospel group. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to rap and sing.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do. And I got a record, my first record deal, when I was like 18.
Right.
And at Electra Records. And I lost my deal. Because at the middle of me, dropping my single, and I think we're about to drop my second single.
Mm-hmm.
The CEO at the time, his name was Bob Krasnow, he passed away. So at that time, everything froze, and it was like everything that ain't gold or better is getting dropped.
Right.
They send you out this letter.
That's
what I'm saying?
The worst. The transition between
right.
A&Rs and presidents.
So I'm back in Memphis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Without a deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had a small company I was working with called Mega Jam Records.
Okay.
And my dad was, the national promotions guy over there.
Mm-hmm.
So he pretty much kind of brought me in and was like, told the CEO, Terry Starks, that I was super talented.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how we did the Electra thing. So he had a studio. He still believed in me. So he had a studio. And when I went back to the studio, he had put all these people around me to produce and make my record sound crazy and, musical. And when I got back to the studio, I noticed there was nobody there. You know what I'm saying? And when I talked to my boy, it was a little white kid named Michael Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Who's great, and he's with 9 Inch Nails now all the time, engineering. So he says, Jazzy, the reason why these people aren't around is because there's no more money.
Right.
There's no more money. And see, I wasn't seeing the business side of it.
Right.
They were handling all of the business. He said, what you need to do is you need to get on this MPC. It was I think it was the MPC 62.
62, right.
At the time.
Right.
He's like, you need to get on this right here. This is gonna be your workstation right here.
Exactly.
He said, we're gonna connect, we're gonna MIDI this keyboard to that. Just like you guys been doing, because I tapped on the keys, but I wasn't just in it.
Mm-hmm.
Taught me how to sequence, and that was
it.
1 beat, 2 beats,
right.
3 beats. Next thing you know, I saw Tila performing live one day, and he was like, man, I heard you making beats around town. He said, man, dog, I'm telling you, man, I'm going to get a deal. When I get my deal, I'm going to call you.
Wow.
Had to be like 3 or 4 years later because I had moved to Atlanta and everything. I was in Atlanta.
Right.
Got the call.
Right.
He said, man, I'm with Swab House. Man, I just got a deal. We popping champagne. I think Draper was in the background. Like, we, you know what I'm saying? You need to come on out here, dog. You need to come out here. We don't come to Memphis, man, to record the whole album.
Wow.
I was like, oh, yeah? I was like, man, I ain't never had to
I'm on my
do
way.
a whole album.
Right.
But I was working with Breed.
Right,
right. I was really sharpening my skills up heavy.
Yeah.
And went back, boy, and that's when we came up with that Sho'nuff.
Wow.
We came with that Sho'nuff. And that was the beginning of like my career.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That record was so big that I had to move to Houston.
Wow.
And that's when I found out why the rappers in Houston are rich.
Right.
Because if you go from, say, East Point to the Silver Fox, you might see all the same people.
Right.
If you see the same artist performing.
Right.
You're going to see their fans.
Right.
But it ain't like that in Houston.
Right.
Like if you go from one side of town to the other side of town, you always hear what you doing over here? To somebody.
Right.
Like, what you doing over on this side? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it kind of put my antennas up because, we still street.
Yeah.
So we like,
Right. It's different.
These people, and then you look at the people and you be like, no, this is a whole nother crowd.
Right.
So you could perform 7 different places.
And nobody will know that you did it.
Nobody.
Wow.
By the time I make my rounds, it's time for me to make a new mixtape.
Wow.
They've been on the mixtape thing.
Right. They have. Right.
They've been on it.
Right.
But they were selling them out the trunk.
Right.
They have a table. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then somebody got T-shirts up.
Right.
Like, I think Houston coined that movement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For real, as a business.
Yeah, from Slim
with
Thug, everybody. Yeah.
Man, Thug been had 8, 9 cars.
Yeah.
He was the first rapper I saw independently, personally, that had 7, 8 cars and living off of music.
Yeah.
Him and Screw and all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
That's
he was
crazy.
the first one I was knowing, even 8-Ball MJG them, they was doing it, but they was still signed with somebody and they wasn't getting the money, they wasn't getting that kind of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
they wasn't getting that kind of money.
Right.
I was like, okay, why is these Negroes more popping than dude and he making all this bread?
Right.
So by the time I sat with him, he was like, oh, I do it all myself, dog.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
They making $2.
Right.
I'm making $10.
$8. Yeah, making $10 now.
Yeah, because he was selling $13, $14, $15.
That's some good money.
Yeah.
Especially going back to you.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, when did you decide to move to Atlanta? Was it around, around that time?
94.
Yeah.
It was 94.
Yeah.
I just, I got to this point in Memphis where I just felt like I was just at a certain plateau.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was so known and I was so popping in Memphis.
Right.
And I had my group called the Funkaholics.
Yeah.
I had my group called the Funkaholics. And it was just okay. It just didn't do, I think it was time to make a new album.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel the situation.
Right.
So I got me a new manager, Carolyn Miller.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rest her soul. She passed away.
Oh man.
She was like, dude, we need to move to Atlanta.
Right.
I was like, I agree. I was like, because I kept saying it. I would always say it every time my dad would come to Atlanta to visit. He would bring me, and it was something I got. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I crossed them lines, I was like,
wow,
I'm gonna be right here.
Right.
I told my dad one day, I was like, man, I'm gonna be in Atlanta.
Right.
But I ain't had no money.
Right.
I ain't had no money, but even though my pop was who he was, I didn't ask him for nothing.
Right.
And I was still hustling. I was doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I wasn't slanging though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was just in the studio and make 100 here, 300-400, and I wasn't really selling my beats because I was trying to break my group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was trying to make that happen. So I sat with Ty Day.
Okay.
I went over to Ty Day's house. He had just got signed. He had got a new deal with the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. And I went over there and he said, man, dog, you need to be in Atlanta, man.
Right.
I was like, how you know that? He was like, dog, you need to go, man.
Right.
I think one of my guys had said something about it.
Right.
He was like, man, here you go. I think he gave me like $1,500, $1,700 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, we going to A. We going to the A.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we came and we moved in right there on Howard Mill, right here, right down the block.
Okay.
And into the Castle Gate.
Oh yeah.
We moved into the Castle Gate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes. I lived in the Castle Gate. We went from having 4 rooms,
right,
to having three rooms,
right,
to having 1 room.
Right. Wow.
The only thing that kept us hanging on is my manager. She met this dude in the kitchen that she liked, and he liked her, and he was like running the kitchen and running, and so they kind of like he just
looked out for you.
Yeah,
right.
Float the room like, hey, y'all got to move to this room because there's something in town, and you move to this room, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
just, y'all hold it down, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he saved us. Like dude named John. Shout out to John, man. By the way,
shout to John.
Right.
She
said one day we was calling people all the time trying to pull up on folks, and you know what I'm saying. I had all my beats in a box.
Right.
And floppy disk and DATs.
Mm-hmm.
And I never used cassettes because I always knew about quality.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there was a difference between the DAT and the cassette.
She said, I know MC Breed. I said, what?
Yeah.
I said, man, take me to him now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we went to Kayla.
Right.
Kayla Studios.
Wow.
Pulled up to Kayla Studios. And she said, she was like, yeah, he ended up working. So we walked in. He was in the booth.
Right.
He was in the booth. He had no pen, no paper. He was just rapping. Yeah. All right, back it back, roll it back. The line. Mm-hmm. Like how I record now. But I didn't record like that at first. I'm listening to him. He's like, roll it back.
Right.
Do on one line. I'm like, oh, this dude is off the rip. Like,
Breed.
Every time he say something, it's totally different from the last line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Breed comes in there and he's like smiling. He never call it Carolyn. He call it smiling because she smiled all the time. So
right.
Smiling.
Right.
Oh, this Jazzy. Okay, Scrap. He called me Scrap right then. Never stopped calling me Scrap.
Wow.
Scrappy. He was like, "Hey, so you the one? You the one she talking about making these beats?" I was like, "Yeah." So he said, "Man, well, play me something." I pulled out the DAT and I pushed play. He's like, "That's hard." He said, "That's dope. Play the second one." I played the second one. He was like, "Nigga, you made that beat?"
Right.
So I reached for my flop desk like, man, it's right here. I'm flipping through. I'm trying to here it go right here. Right. Load it up right now.
Right.
I played the third one. He's like, oh, I gotta have that one. So I'm not knowing that he's in mid album, so his budget is wide open.
Right.
He like, what y'all doing tomorrow? I looked at Caroline. He's like, what? How long y'all gonna be here? I just looked at her like,
we gonna be here.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Cause we ain't got nothing. We got hope money. We got, you know what I'm saying?
Hope I can stay.
Right. He talked to his partner Jabri. Remember Jabri?
Yeah, I remember Jabri.
He looked at Jabri and said, hey, he grabbed his keys and he said, go to the house and clean out the room that you've been staying in across from my room. He's like, yeah. Jabri was like, yeah, we about to have a producer in the house. Right. He didn't want to rap, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he grabs the keys, goes to the house, cleans out the room, and let me and my manager stay in that room.
Wow.
But he had a studio in his basement.
Right.
Of course, I didn't stay in the room. I stayed in the basement.
Right.
Because I didn't see it like the first night. I don't even think when we got there. You know, it's a new place, so
yeah.
He was like, we'll take it out to the bed. We were there for a couple of hours. I'm like, okay, I didn't know. Then I heard something bumping. I was like, you got a studio?
Right.
It's like, yeah, I got a studio. Flash was down there.
Right. Oh, wow.
Went down in the studio. I was like, duh.
Right. Hallelujah.
Yeah, they got food times in there.
The church is here.
I was like, oh, he got a gang.
Right.
Boy, I fired up that MP. He had just got to 3,000 too.
Wow.
I was like, oh yeah.
Right. You in heaven.
Yes, brand new.
Brand out the box
was like,
new.
Ooh.
Right.
That was my piece. I got on that thing, boy. It was over.
Wow.
It was over.
Hey, so I was talking to Lil Jon from the Chronicle, right? And he was like, yo, man, remember, man, Jazze used to be up there, man, on the tambourines and singing and stuff.
With y'all.
Right. And Zoo, everybody, man. He was like, yo, man, Jazze has always been this pure talent, man, that just was around and just had this vibe about him. And I know for a fact, man, like, I remember getting really to know you back then with the Chronicle and all that, man, and just like Short. And Short was like, yo, man, you heard about Short? He don't talk much. You just like, yo, man, you heard about Jazze?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I heard Jazze. I said, Jazze be at the Chronicle. He said, yeah, man, Jazze, man, I'm telling you. I was like, man, you ain't got to tell me. I already know. I already know.
One time I overheard Short say that I was one of the best producers he ever worked with.
I can believe it.
But he would never say anything like that to me.
Right.
Because I don't think he wanted me to feel, some kind of way about him or just about myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just wanted, he always put it out there. And I heard him saying it one time. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man.
And it just made me even make his records in a different light.
Yeah. He used to brag about you all the time,
man,
bro.
But he would never do it to me, of course. Wow. I mean, but like, you know what I'm saying? So, but being around him, then it made me understand how much he respected my craft and how he blocked people away from like, they be talking too much. We want to work. We want to get to work.
Right.
Short was all about production.
Yeah, he was.
Nobody is prolific
Nah, you're right. I know we used to be over there at his studio over there at Oakland City. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yo, man, let's just get it going. So he would have one studio on the levee and another studio over another side, and we'd be working. Mm-hmm. And he'd be like, yo, man, we're just going to knock it down. He started doing that North, East, West, and South album. And
I was on all that.
Yeah, I know. He was like, yo, man, we're going to work. We're going to work, bro. We're going to work. I said, so we started working. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And to be around great artists like Short really helped me, too, to understand the business side of the structure side of how this is what we have to do. We ain't got time to play. Get in the studio, do what you got to do, and get up out of there. So it was really dope to be around that type of energy. You, Jazz, you and Jazzy. You are Jazzy. You and Short, Breed, man. Shouts out to Breed, man.
Yeah, G hooked it up.
G hooked it up. Right, G. Well, shout out to Greg.
Shout out to G, man. He introduced me to so many people.
Right.
Eric Sermon.
Shouts out to
Keith
E-Dub.
Sweat.
Yeah.
Redman.
Right.
The whole Def Squad. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, me and the Def Squad performed at V's wedding.
Wow.
The whole Def Squad. We performed with a drummer and a bass player.
Wow.
I'm talking about me, Redman, Eric Sermon, Molly G, Keith Murray.
Wow.
You talking about a
Def
reception?
Squad. Right. reception.
We had on suits at first, boy. At the end, it was a shirt, everybody's shirt. You could imagine.
Right.
We just lit.
Wow.
It was just a party.
But that's how it was back then.
Short was there. Everybody performed.
That's crazy, bro.
Crazy.
So my next question to you is, I remember at noontime, man, and it was over at King Plow.
Yeah.
And I would walk through the door, right? First of all, before we get through the door, everybody outside smoking, tripping, or whatever they doing, Jim Crow, noontime. And I remember you having the studio knocking. Right, that little room to the right there, that was your domicile.
Yeah,
you would have the room knocking. I'm talking about like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
and, you walk in there, and I would look because it's studio etiquette, so I would not try to walk in on you every time. Right, I would look in there, and you'd be like, "Well, come on in here, dog. Come on in here."
Yeah.
So I go in there and sit, and the way you produce is something that I have never seen a producer do. Right. You have the ability to allow people to have fun in your sessions and get it done at the same time, right? So I will watch you play a beat, everybody be jamming, you be like, oh, yeah, this is it. Boom, boom. Y'all like that? You look back, it's jamming? It's jamming? Yeah, that's it. This the one. Boom, 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 boom. And it was just kind of that camaraderie with you. I don't know if you still do it that way.
I do.
That's crazy, man.
It's entertainment.
Wow.
It's entertainment.
It is.
Think about the word for a minute, though.
Right.
Because I tell artists all the time when they get into this box, like, are you in the entertainment business?
Right.
Because I don't want to be in the music business.
Right.
I don't want to be in the music business because music is just music.
That's real.
But if you're talking about entertaining,
right,
that's the business I want to be in.
That's real.
Because entertainment is something else.
Right.
Entertainment is not selfish.
Right.
It's selfless.
Right.
Because it's not about you.
Right.
It's about them.
Right.
You feel me?
That's real talk.
It's a difference.
It's a product.
It's a difference. Like, especially you have to put it in your mind that I am here to entertain.
Entertain.
If you're not, then this just ain't the. I mean,
it ain't for you.
You might have a spot where you can go be.
Right.
But it's just not here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We here to entertain. We want to live off of this.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You gotta pay some bills off of this.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, sir.
They ain't playing about them bills.
I tell artists all the time, man, if you're not in this to, first of all, have fun, right?
Yeah.
Because you're selling fun.
First and foremost.
Right. And if you're not targeting yourself for the product of which you're selling to a specific audience or a broader audience, then you ain't doing this for nobody but yourself. So you might as well just have a studio in your basement and y'all just sing Kumbaya to each other.
Right.
So it has to be fun, entertaining, energetic. People got to say, yo, provocative. If it's provocative, it's still got to be fun.
It's got to transcend.
It got to transcend, man. It got to make people feel something. They got to make them, And my next question to you is, you worked, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of fun and entertainment, you work with Aaliyah, you work with Tupac. He worked with Cash Money, Breed. We talk about Brother Breed, man.
Yeah.
Tila, Outkast, Snoop Dogg, me, for instance.
Hey.
As a producer, what does it take to bring out that entertaining value of the product in those artists?
First of all, you know, Vaughn always give me this analogy. He was like, man, when you got your little hot dog stand, right?
Right.
You have to know who your target audience is.
Right.
You got to know who you're selling your hot dogs to.
That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it chili dogs? Is it kraut dogs? Is it what kind of dogs? Now your hot dog stand ain't but so big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you got to be able to push that thing around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The big city.
Correct.
Let out your umbrella and get down and busy.
Right.
So you want to go where the people are moving.
Right.
I want to go where the people are moving.
Correct.
I want all the time,
Right.
always moving.
Right.
Because I'll pick somebody that's a little less talented, but moving more
Right.
and more willing to try things.
Right.
Because if you listen to a Ciara,
Right.
she might not be able to sing like Fantasia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's a place for each one of them.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, which one is more entertaining to you?
That's the key to it.
I mean, nobody has to answer that question, but I'm just saying, like, there's a place.
Yes, it is.
Ain't no, Too Short ain't never try to out-rap nobody.
No, he did not.
He entertained, though.
He did.
He had a subject.
Still does.
He had a certain subject matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fresh Prince was a totally different MC as LL Cool J.
Right.
LL Cool J was dead serious.
Right.
Fresh Prince was just novelty. He was like having fun, like how we talking.
Both prolific in their own right.
Yeah, I don't think Fresh Prince ever knew what they were gonna come out of the studio with when they walked in there. I honestly don't think.
No, I don't think so either. I think Will just went in there and say, "Man, we're gonna have some fun.
Right.
Let's just go at it."
Yeah, Jazzy Jeff might have put something on and just
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could see him putting on a Bob James record,
right,
and just like, oh, this part right here,
right.
Put that in the sampler.
Correct.
Oh,
right. That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's the key to this. Like, I think, like for me, when I'm in the studio with the right energy, it brings out a certain type of vibe. Like I'll go in, like when I do, like if I'm doing an album, right, and I'll say this is what I want out of the album. What are those key players are going to bring out that sound in the album and make it the best product that I can entertain people with when I'm putting this product out. And that's why, you know, a lot of times for artists, I tell them, I say, listen, man, if you're going to do a body of work, make sure you find people that are in the same like mind state that you are in, that are the best at what they do, in order for them to give you the best ideology to become a reality for people to hear, see, or smell, right? And that's the key to, I think that's the reason why you're so dope. And other producers like you, Toomp, you know what I mean, Kanye. These guys are so dope because they get in the studio with the artist, Shawty Red. They bring out that vibe that you're thinking of.
Or even the community musicians.
Of course.
Me.
Right.
Imagine me, you.
Right.
The wife.
Right.
The Chronicle.
Right. It's over. Good luck.
Locked in on a mountain.
Right.
For a week, 1 week.
Right. It's over.
Good night.
Good night. Good luck to everybody else.
Vibes
for days.
We just you commit to it. You pick your squad.
Right.
And play the game.
That's what you do. You got
to. I want him, her, and that's it.
That's how you do it.
That's the first step.
We're
going to get that step together.
Right.
We got the batter.
Right.
Now let's get over here and make these pancakes.
That's
real
right.
Crispy on the edges. Yeah, Lord. Little butter.
Boy, you talking fat boy.
Little butter. Yeah. You little butter, put the syrup with the butter, put it in the microwave.
Buddy.
Don't put it in the microwave. Put it on the stove in a little pot.
Yeah, man.
Now we got butter syrup.
Let me tell you something.
Hold on, Jesus.
And it don't stop tasting good.
Pray for Jesus.
Pray for him.
Pray for Jesus, man.
Hey, man, he's so foolish. Hey, my next question to you. When did you decide, you know, you've done so many things for other people, right? And other people's labels, other people's ideas, ideology, their realities. You put your energy on it. When did you decide to start the genius idea of Sho'nuff?
Sho'nuff. Oh, well, Sho'nuff came from Girls in the club show love.
Oh,
Sho'nuff. I said, I named this label after my first hit.
Outstanding.
The thing was, me and Noonie were sitting together.
Noonie, shouts out to Noonie.
Yeah, shout out to Noonie and Noontime Everything. Shout out to Juan Farmer. Juan Farmer actually took me. I was at DARP. I was sitting at DARP.
Right.
In front of DARP. I was meeting Juan about something.
Right.
He said he wanted to introduce me to somebody.
Right.
He wanted. I think Noonie was looking for me.
Right.
You know. And he said, Jazzy Pha. Jazzy Pha, is it a girl? Is it a guy? What is it? Is it a girl make beats?
Right.
So, Jazzy Pha. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
So he was like, no, I want to introduce you to somebody, man. And somebody that can help you out, dog. They looking for you. They probably want to buy a bunch of music from them. They got a bunch of groups. That's when I met Noonie, Chris, Ryan. I think Shakira was there that day.
God
at that
rest
time.
Shakira, man. Rest easy.
BC24.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow.
Chris Hicks.
You
know what I'm saying? All of them.
Right.
All of them were there. You know what I'm saying? At Houston's on Peachtree.
Wow.
Yes, Lord. That's where I first met them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I met a whole Noontime gang right there. You know, and then when we came to the Sho'nuff part,
right,
it was like you know, we had been, you know, tearing up the charts and you know, we was trying to build something.
Yes.
And we got CC. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Ciara.
But even before CC, we had, you know, we Jody Breeze and Jeezy.
Jeezy, right.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
right.
You know, we had CTE.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing that said it all was, well, he was like, man, what you want to call the label? And I was like, dang, let's think about what brought us together.
Right.
Sho'nuff Records. He said, man, I like that.
That's hard.
I like that. He said, make it kind of look throwback. That's why you have it like
Because
at first it had this lady with an Afro puff. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
She has a silhouette.
That's right.
And you know, it was kind of like I think we just kind of put the name up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kenlo kind of told us like, you don't want to just use that because it's kind of sexist.
Right.
It kind of put you in a pigeonhole and make you think something before you see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, bet.
Yeah.
He said the Sho'nuff just looks so good, bro.
That's crazy, man.
And we did it.
Yeah, man. You know, shouts out to Ken Lowe and Players University, man, family.
Yeah, man.
A-Town sneakers. Ken Lowe just sent me a pair of A-Town sneakers.
Oh, man, I need to call him.
You need to. I'll give you his number.
Yeah.
Unless you already got it.
No, I don't. I'll
give it to you. Give it to you. So my next question to you is, so Ciara, she blew up. She did what she did. Let me tell you something, man. I remember you told me about Ciara. I think, what were we at? He was like, yo, man, I'm about to drop this girl, bruh. And I was like, you know, I heard about her first before you told me.
Where?
L.A. Reid.
Wow.
L.A. was talking about Ciara. You know, at the time at Arista, I was in on everything.
Okay.
You know, because they was trying to, you know, I was the biggest thing there at that point. So they was telling me everything. Yo, Bone, I got this girl, man. We've been grooming her. We've been getting her together. You know, Jazzy. I said, Jazzy? He said, yeah, man, it's Jazzy. He's Jazzy's artist. I said, oh, yeah? He said, yeah, man, Ciara. I'm telling you, bro. I was like, I can't wait to hear her. Then when I met Ciara at the video shoot.
Wow.
I met her at the video shoot.
Yes, sir.
And L.A. was like, yo, go to video shoot.
Yeah, she loved you, too.
Yeah, man, that's my girl. Cece's the best.
Yeah. She was like, oh, he's great.
Yeah. Cece's cool people.
Yeah.
And we were, and I said, yo, and she was like, yo, Bone, like, how are you handling all this? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, how are you handling all this? The sex. I was like, yo, you know, it's just what we do. Don't even take it that serious.
Right.
Just enjoy the moments. You're supposed to be here.
Exactly.
So it ain't really that serious.
Exactly.
This is what it is. She was like, you know what? You right. I'm going to tell you who was on the bus with us. Mo. Monica was on the bus. And Mo was like, Bone telling you
She was like family.
Yeah. Mo was like, Bone telling you right. That's real. Because, you know, I've been doing this since, you know, Mo gonna tell the real regardless.
Yeah. Most of the time when me and Monica get together, we'll book a session and not even do no music.
Right.
We'll talk the whole session.
Yeah. She like,
boy, I'm tired. I'm going to go home and go to bed. I'm like, we ain't even recorded.
We ain't recorded nothing.
I ain't played a key.
Ain't did nothing.
But the next day, it'd be all there.
It'd be all great. Beautiful. And that's what it's about. That's when we go back to what we're saying about putting together the right people. The vibe got to be right. The energy got to be right. You know, you could be trying to do something that's the greatest thing in the world, but if you ain't got the right keys and components in there, it ain't gonna work. You're gonna be able to unlock it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that, for me, I think that your sound and what you've done has always transcended through time and energy. And I always like to call this is my thing, forever trending grooves. Your sound is forever trending.
Wow.
It never gets old. Like, if I hear Sho'nuff right now in the club, it gonna hit as hard as the brand new record is out.
Time and space.
Time, it's just there,
It's gonna take you to a time and space.
It's just real. Did you ever think that sound that you created and that flavor that you have mastermind would forever be around and for people to feel back then?
The only thing I knew about it was, like, once I discovered that, I think it was like a Juno 106 keyboard.
Wow, yeah.
Like, and it was like, like when you find the sound, like it's like impossible to turn that thing off and make that sound again.
Yeah.
I'm like over there tweaking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I go,
right.
I was like, ooh.
Right.
I can make when I was like, yo, what if I just run this through the whole beat? And I was like trying to figure out how to make it not be annoying in the verses. So I dropped it down.
Right.
Then when the hook come back, it's back up. And they was like, yo, what is that?
Right.
People even at the studio was like walking by like, what is that?
Right.
I'd never heard anything like that before.
Wow.
That's what everybody kept saying. There's nothing like that.
You know what's so crazy? Even with that record, even the record you did with Outkast, that boom, 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 boom,
oh, talking about
boom, boom, boom,
Street Talkin.
Yeah, man.
Slick Rick.
Woo!
Slick Rick and Outkast is on this jam. Patchworks. Right down the street.
Right.
On 10th Street.
The original Patchwork.
Yes. Bimmy.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Bimmy called me. Bimmy called me on the phone. I just got my Range Rover.
Yeah.
I was stupid excited.
Right.
So, I think I pulled, I had my equipment in the trunk.
Right.
So I pulled up on the curb. Remember I used to pull up on the curb and then, Kirk them have somebody come out and help us, get the stuff out, carry it into the room.
Right.
So I get all my stuff out. I got there. I think I was a little late. So I got there. Outkast, Big and Dre are in the studio. Like I met them several times, passing and we've been in the same room. We never had a conversation.
Indeed.
So that was like the first time the old Patchwork where I had a real conversation with them.
Wow.
And when I walked in, mind you, I walk in, I think Slick Rick was in a little conversation with somebody on the phone, a long distance phone call, and he was off. He hadn't spoken to me yet.
Right.
So I'm in there. I think Josh was in there or somebody.
Josh, wow.
Yes. Yeah. We were in there, and I walked in the room, and the boys was setting up their equipment. They had all these keyboards.
Right.
All these keyboards and stuff. So I'm confused.
Right.
I'm like, so why you got me here and you got the mighty Outkast here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, and I just got my drum machine in my arm. Like, matter of fact, I don't even think I brought my drum machine. I just brought my desk because they had a drum machine.
Right.
So I just brought my disc.
Right.
So I came and I had my desk and he was like, no. Baby was like, no, go ahead. Go set up. Do your stuff. You want you to play some stuff for Rick. So Rick walked in. Say, yeah. The guys, they're setting up like they about to make the beat. I'm like, so I'm confused. I don't know who's making the beat. I never want to ask the question.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I played some beats on that, and I got to this one beat. It was like number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wah, 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 wah. It was slow. So, in the South, we a little more bouncy.
Right.
It was bouncing. Then all of the beats played. He said, those, Jazzy, those are great beats.
Right.
I love those beats.
Right.
But I need a Slick Rick beat.
Right.
So he was like, that one, the number 4, go back to the number 4.
Right.
He said, can you take that and speed that up, that beginning part?
Right.
He said, but listen, I want you to do this.
Right.
And he beat on the table.
Wow.
And he's like, in that sound, put that in there.
Wow.
That was the whole beat.
That's crazy.
I was like, all right, put it in. I'm in the headphones.
That's crazy.
Boop, boop. I'm in the headphones because, Outkast, and I didn't want to disturb nobody. I'm like, made the whole beat right there. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, when I turned it up, when I played it, I just started it off with the beat. Drake came walking down the hall.
Right.
He was dancing down the hall. He was like this, just like you see him in the video. He was dancing. He was just dancing.
Right.
And dog, I swear to God, when I let that beat play, shit, Big came in there, was like, that's it right there.
Right.
That's it right there.
Right.
Like he stopped setting up and everything and grabbed a pad.
Right.
And started writing.
Wow. So that's
now what's crazy is I don't want to rat nobody out, but I mean, Big and Dre was writing. He was trying to write a verse.
Right.
And Dre is Dre. So he was writing, and I think he had like 4 lines.
Right.
Bimmy looked on his page and was like, yo, what you got? What you got? Say what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, and he came back in later. Big had already dropped his verse. We danced to the song. We loving the song. That is jamming.
Mm-hmm.
Slick Rick goes in, lays his verse.
Right.
Song crazy.
Right.
Dre was like, oh man, I love it. I love it. He still didn't have but 6 lines.
Right.
Not even, if that. He was, I think he's X'd out like 3 of them.
Right.
I was like, I seen him like, he didn't like the lines he wrote.
Right.
Bimmy was like, just say anything. The light went off.
Right.
He couldn't do it no more.
Wow.
He wouldn't do it no more.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, you didn't just tell Andre to say anything.
Wow.
I don't even know if he remembered that.
Wow.
But the light went off.
That's crazy.
B was like,
that's crazy.
Say anything.
Right, Dre ain't just saying anything.
So I got something to say.
Let me tell you something. That's the key to this. Like
that's the reason why he wasn't on that beat, because he just didn't. The light just went off.
Wow.
He loved the record.
Wow. So, like, that's crazy. Like, so this next section is 7, right?
Okay.
What are 7 songs that people will be shocked?
Oh my God.
That Jazzy Pha is playing in his Rolodex of music? 7 songs.
7 songs?
7 songs. Not all of them, just 7.
Commission.
Okay.
Who do men say I am?
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Who do men say I am?
Right.
Jesus looked at his disciples.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a Commission fan.
Right.
I know every song, every lyric.
Right.
All the lyrics.
Next record.
A Woman's Gotta Have It.
Wow. Woman does gotta have it.
Yeah.
Woman gotta have it.
Yeah. Bobby Womack.
Bobby Womack.
Bobby Womack is like my uncle.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? In real life, God bless his soul.
Yeah, God bless.
We actually recorded the song here.
Wow.
Me, him, and CeeLo.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Right. Next one.
On My Own. Yep. So many promises that I never. Yeah.
Man. Number 5.
This Is It. Kenny Loggins.
Oh wow.
This is it. I love the classics.
I love that record.
Come on, man.
Come on now.
How could you not? That was Quincy Jones too.
That was Quincy. Ooh, Quincy Jones, man. Come on, man. Number 6.
Look What You Done to Me.
Oh yeah.
Al Green. Now that you're here with me.
Right.
Want to keep you free.
Right.
To do the thing, baby. Just wanna do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 7.
Oh, we at number 7 already?
No, number 6.
Number 6?
Yeah, number 6.
Number 6 was That Girl.
That Girl.
Yeah. Pharrell and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that's a big one.
with Uncle Charlie.
Yeah.
I think that I've been listening to that.
And you know what's so crazy? If someone told me you produced that, I wouldn't doubt it.
Right. Me and Pharrell are like 3 days apart. I think he might be April 13th. I'm like April 15th.
Yeah. Number 7. Right.
Mainstream.
Woo!
Think you eat, but it ain't all peaches and cream.
Right. That's a big one.
I've been bumping that crazy too.
That's a big record.
Yeah.
That's a big record.
Yeah.
So this next section is 7. It's 7 questions.
Okay.
You got to answer in 7 seconds.
All right.
And those 7 questions.
How you do that?
You about to see.
All right.
They are pertaining explicitly and specifically to you.
All right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1. Mm-hmm. What's something people don't worry about but really should?
Damn.
Yeah. 5 seconds.
Worry about what really should. What's going to happen tomorrow?
Boy. Number 2. What food is delicious but painful to eat?
Painful to eat?
Yeah.
Peanut brittle.
Woo! Yeah. Number 3. What's the most expensive thing you've broken?
The most expensive thing I've broken.
Mm-hmm.
I think my trust for somebody that I believed in.
Wow.
That believed in me.
That's real. Number 4. Name something that's quickly becoming obsolete.
The way we live.
Right. Right. Number 5. What's the most epic way you've seen someone quit or be fired?
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Or be fired.
Yeah, it could be either or.
I don't know. I think the way what's her name was fired on
what?
On what's the name of the damn movie? Set It Off.
Oh,
when they fired her.
Yeah, the bank.
Yeah, that was cold.
Oh, that was cold.
That was cold.
What's her name? The actress. I did a movie with her. I should be ashamed of myself. I'm about to say Vanessa Williams. Not Vanessa Williams. That's Vivica Fox.
Yeah, Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox. That's right.
Drew a blank too.
That's right. Well, number 6. What language do you wish you could speak?
French.
French. Boy, you be unstoppable. Number 7. What are some red flags to watch out for in daily life?
People who want to be you.
Man, come on. You speak the gospel now. So I want to thank my friend, Jazzy Pha.
Yes.
Fenzel. Oh boy. For being here today.
Old girl even.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for being here, friend. Been knowing you a long time, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
And this story is not complete without you in it. So we're very thankful for you once again.
I appreciate you,
showing us your energy, your spirit, your wonderful light. And I'm just happy to be a part of anything that you want me to work on. We worked on together. And thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you for having me, bro. And I appreciate you, man. I love this, man. You couldn't have picked a better one.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
Couldn't have picked a better one, man.
It's the origin story.
Yeah.
7 questions in 7 seconds with an ATL grade.
Oh boy.
Thank y'all. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Well, I am Story, one half a Crusher consultant, sitting here with my brother. Oh boy.
Hey.
Jazzy Fizzle.
Yes, Lord.
I want to know, what was it like sitting down with Bone, somebody who knows you and knows your history, your lineage in the game, and what was that experience like, knowing that he knows the other end of the story?
You know, it's like sitting down with an old friend. I mean, like an old brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bone is like, I mean, he always talks about my light, and I always talk about his. You know what I'm saying? When, like, I remember, you know, back when I had I think I had visitors in town, and normally, we all go to the Oxygen and we catch the live atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I had some work. I had a lot of work to do, and my mind was somewhere else. My mind was somewhere else, and when I walked into that room, I think he was on the microphone. It was like people all around, zoo, everybody, but he was on the microphone. And the groove just changed up to something, and he just took it up somewhere with some vocals, and it was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my, I forgot everything I was trying to think about. And and in a nutshell, it's kind of like he's that kind of person that can glow it, just put a glow, like make you forget.
Yeah.
It'll make you forget.
Yeah.
Just his tone, he sets a tone. He knows it too. It's like you go in there and throw a grenade in the room. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, just forget about everything we was arguing about.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we could be having an argument in a room and Bone walk in and the whole vibe change.
That's crazy.
And I'd be like, what was we fighting about? Oh, never mind.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know that because, you with him. So
Billy talks about this all the time. He's like, Bone has this like dial on his neck. You know how Billy be talking. He's like, he's got this, and then he just turns it a little bit, and he gets this, and then he goes, and he can do all these different flavors and girths and different levels of sound that you can get from him. And I love when he gives that analogy of this dial on his neck because he can morph into these other things and instruments. But I think it was really dope just to watch you share the love with him because I think we all need to get our flowers, and the ATL greats really matter. This origin story is super important. Is there any part of your story, though, that you weren't able to share because maybe the interviewer was cold and had like a list of these cold questions to ask you versus a person like Bone who knows you because he's family?
Things that I wanted to share.
Or that you never share. The documentaries come out, the podcasts. Everyone does these interviews. You're on the red carpet, right? But Bone can bring out certain experiences and memories from the past that you wouldn't have that from a regular interviewer that doesn't know you. So is it any part of the interview today that you were able to share something that normally no one will be able to bring that out of you?
Probably, the things that we only know about, like when he's talking about me making music,
right?
And that's an intimate thing.
He's in that moment.
For you to come in, and you have to have been around me when I'm actually in the process.
Yes.
And I'm very, it's a sanctuary. You know what I mean? So you have to I'm only welcoming to those at that particular time who have the etiquette of someone who can be a fly on the wall.
That's right.
Or it can be an instrument.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To coincide, or even an opinion, or a thought, or a spark.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you got to be careful of your company.
Oh, yes.
That is for sure.
Oh, yes. You can feel it.
Yes.
You can feel it. And I've been in rooms like with Missy Elliott, like she'll stop the music and she'll say, well, this is the part where everybody leaves.
Exactly.
She don't play them games. Like, I don't want you to see how ugly I get. I don't want you to see how pretty I can be. I don't want you to see how mean I can be, because I have to go through every thing to get to where I'm trying to go right now.
That is so true. We did a session with Scarface. And he's like, I don't want anybody to be in the room, right?
Yes.
So Bone and I getting up, and we're like, okay, respect. So we get up, and he's like, where y'all going? We were like, well, shit, you just said.
He ain't talking about y'all.
Yeah. He was like,
He's
everybody else got to go. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were his muse.
It was real.
You were
that
his.
You so
were
real.
his thing.
That was so real.
And he's in tune with all of that.
That is so real what you say.
He was in tune.
Yeah.
Face was the first person to make us open that door. I don't even know if people knew that there was a door in the other studio, in the vocal booth.
Wow.
Did you know there was a door outside to outside in that vocal booth?
Outside to outside.
Did you know that?
That's crazy.
And there's a door.
Wow.
There's a door. Face wanted to record with the door open.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Because he wanted to smoke a cigarette.
A little ventilation.
He had the cigarette like sitting on the door right there. He would go out there, he would hit the cigarette, and then he'd walk back in on the microphone. I'm like, why did he just come away from the mic? So I looked in there, he's like,
He got the door open.
The door open.
He done made some ventilation.
Right. Nobody's ever done that. And I'm like, Face is just that kind of guy.
Shout out to Scarface.
Yeah, shout out to Face.
Moon Unit.
Yeah.
But I want to be on that mountain, and I got to lock you up for a week because you got to be on my album.
Oh, yes,
and
absolutely.
I've been waiting to let you know I got to have you for that week.
Oh, man,
on the top of the mountain. And I don't know who else we going to allow to come because we real particular.
I got to have you. I already know a couple.
Yeah.
Who I'm going to bring with me just for, party favors.
Oh, boy.
Party favors.
So what was your favorite part about the interview? Like, it kept changing. It's the 7 seconds. It's 7 questions.
I think the seven questions is
you like that one?
I've never, felt like pressure.
Yeah.
Like answering questions. I mean, and it's almost like being on a game show or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't know what's coming.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who came up with that. That's pretty dope.
That's Bone and I. We reeling in these sevens.
Yeah, that's dope.
It's a divine number, and we gotta have it with us every step of the way.
Reeling in the sevens.
We really appreciate you coming.
Yes.
You are truly one of the ATL greats.
Hey, thank you.
I love your production. I adore you as a person. You're super inspirational.
Likewise.
Always sweet, and it's always a party. Every time we're around you, your energy is magnetic. Thank you for being a part of this origin story. 7 questions in 7 seconds with story. Jazzy, we out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.